This woman just made these people go on a wild goose chase for what reason?
Yeah, a scavenger hunt, and your reward is trauma.
And always remember, spoiler alert. Welcome back to Same But Different, the movie talk show that nobody asked for, but we are doing it anyway. I'm here with Brody, and we're here to talk Canadian movies.
Eh?
Is that a question?
Yeah. A is
right.
always a question, even as a statement. That was a fun day, eh?
This week, we had the pleasure of watching Denis Villeneuve's... I feel like last time we said first movie. It's not his first movie. I looked into it.
That's you problem.
That's a me problem. That's my mistake. He's done some movies. I feel like this is the first streamlined movie, mainstream movie he's done. Anyway, it's called Incendies. We watched it and we're going to review it. But before we get to the review, I would love it if anybody watching would subscribe to the channel, because if you like movies, if you like talking about movies and entertainment, then you will not regret it. So please do that. Like the video, share it with your friends, and make us all feel nice.
Yeah. Do it now.
Yeah. Well, good cop, bad cop, I guess. Let's dive right into the review. Let's not waste any more time, eh? I think that you should start the review, Brody, because that's what I want you to do. Whoa, bro just whips out a 50.
No,
big spender.
You can't rip Canadian money. You can't do it.
I could if I had scissors.
That's not ripping. That's a completely different verb. I'm going to start with the good. I want to hit the two high points right off the hop, because while this movie wasn't perfect, these two things, in my opinion, were perfect. A being the acting. I genuinely think this is some of the most gripping, realistic, haunting, beautiful acting I've ever seen in my life. I was floored watching these performances. When even her reaction when she realized his 1+1 thing, and her just staring for a second and then just a horror gasp was so believable. Weird, almost comical, but 100% how somebody would react.
Yeah.
I don't know. Blew me away.
I agree.
B, the story. Not necessarily the script, but the story itself was convoluted and bizarre, yet somehow always grounded in reality. One of my gripes kind of juxtaposes what I just said, but I'll get there later. Something about this story and how it just kept delivering. I thought one twist was enough, and then it upped the stakes a lot. Hell of a ride. Really, really enjoyed the story. So those are my two perfects. I still have some good stuff to say, but I genuinely think those were 10 out of 10 aspects of this movie.
Love it. Okay, cool.
The music choices in this movie were few, but very fitting when they decided. But what I appreciated more was the lack of music during really, really intense scenes. The bus scene and the sniper scene, all involving us just watching children get killed, which is crazy how we were just watching children die on screen.
Just little Johnny getting headshotted. That's crazy, dude.
You know what, though? This is horrible, but I rewound the one on the bus when it was like the Game of Thrones where he was running across to his mom and it was a wide shot and he got shot.
Yeah.
I had to rewatch it because look, the content is horribly sad, but it wasn't very well done. I had to rewind it and watch it again because the drop looked so funny.
Just a plank of wood.
He was up in the air and then he was on the ground. There was no fall. It was just weird. And so I watched that twice, which makes me feel like a psychopath. But typically when a movie has politics, especially when the politics revolve around religion, that loses some points for me. I think this movie did a very, very good job with it. The Muslims and the Christians were at the forefront of what was going on a lot, but it never usurped the story of the twins and the mother and the brother, father, son. The movie did a very good job bouncing between multiple storylines. That's usually a flaw in movies like this. And it was kind of jarring at first. I did have a little bit of difficulty at first, maybe in the first half an hour. But then as soon as you get to know the characters, it's seamless and it's very well done. But there were also times where that big red lettering didn't have subtitles. Usually it showed what it was and then told me the twins or whatever. But there were a couple that showed up that didn't translate. So I think
that's because they were names or places.
Oh.
Yeah.
They don't want to translate it into English being the same word.
And that would have helped you how?
I don't know, funny. I do have some bad. I would be lying if I said that this movie held my attention the whole time. I found large portions of this movie boring. Some of the scenes just could have been expedited. It's not that it wasn't all important, but some of it was just dragged too long. And
it was drawn out, yeah.
This is my one fault in the story, and this is, I think, more how the script was built. Not that it wasn't a good script, but there was something too far-fetched about how convenient the placement of these characters were from time to time. Like the fact that he ended up in the exact prison she was in 18 to 20 years later. The timeline was also, the ages and the timeline were a little bit tough to kind of keep up with. And then 20, 25 years later, again, he happens to be in the exact same pool at the exact same time across the world in Quebec. I know they had the same person help them get out of the Middle East and into Canada. So, but just the timing of it was far too serendipitous. Like them finding him and giving him the letters made sense. They tracked him down. He could have been in Quebec. That made sense. But that exact pool, and she comes out of the pool at his ankle. Like all of it was far too, this is exactly what the script needed, so we did it. I know I just said cut time out of this movie, but if we got 5 minutes of like watching like him search for her, I think that could have explained all of this. Or even if they left that as a shroud of mystery, as maybe that's what happened, but the man clearly had no idea who she was. That little bit where it's just like pandering to make the script kind of have a poetic and big ending, I get it, and it is important, and it was cool, but it's just unrealistic. So those 2 points are the only things I disliked, both of them being big enough to take off 1 point. So I am going to give this movie an 8 out of 10. It was nice to see, you know, some of Denis Villeneuve's like roots in filmmaking.
Yeah, I love seeing the foundation of filmmakers, where they come from and where they've gone. Like Cotton Eye Joe.
Yeah. that.
Yeah, I'll start with the good as well. Exactly the same as yours.
Nice.
Acting was amazing, and then the story was incredible. And the acting speaks to the directing, so that's why both of them are perfect for me. Acting and directing, perfect. The cinematography was incredible. There were some shots in this where they were so good. The blocking and the positioning of actors on screen. When the mom in the flashback is knelt over with the bus burning in the background, that was so powerful. So powerful.
I think the mom was the best actor.
I agree. At the beginning of the movie, when the daughter, she was working as a teacher's assistant or a mathematician teacher or something like that, and she was describing some sort of algorithm. I looked this up in the trivia, but the algorithm specifically states that no matter what you plug into the algorithm, it always equals 1 at the end. Everything always converges into 1 at the end. So they brought that back in the twist, which is really cool. Nice little planted payoff. Music, didn't care for it. It was forgettable. Not that while I was sitting there, I was like, ew, this is bad. After the movie was done, I literally could not remember what the music even sounded like. So that speaks to 2 things. 1, forgettable music when it was used, but also used properly. To your point, not used at good moments as well. The twist is incredible. The 2 twins are given a letter each, one addressed to their father and one addressed to their brother, both of whom they have never met or don't know even existed, really. I mean, they knew they had a father, they just never knew who it was. And their mom, in her will, has tasked them with going to find these individuals. The majority of the movie follows the sister going through investigative process of trying to find the father. And then it's not until a little bit more than halfway through the movie that we transfer over to the brother, who then meets up with the sister. So really, it's a brother-sister thing. And he's trying to find the brother. Through the flashbacks, through their investigative process, adding 1 + 1, we get the reveal that the woman back in her day had a son. And the son was taken away from her and put into the military system. That kid grew up to be a torturer. And then when the mom was in prison, that torturer visited her and raped her in prison. Through that rape, she became pregnant with these 2 twins. All of this is unknown to everybody. So the twist is that her son grew up and fathered her children. So the father and the brother are the same person. Just fantastic twist.
Boom. Like very Old Boy.
Yes. This is my problem with it, though.
I'm so curious.
What purpose did the twist serve other than shock value? You know what I mean?
No, not really, because I feel like you could say that about any twist in any movie ever.
No, that's not true.
Then I don't understand what you're saying.
Because a lot of the time, twists, they aid in the plot, or they enhance the story, or they make something across the entire film you just watched change completely. You know what I mean? Going back and watching it, you don't watch it from a different angle. You don't watch it from a different standpoint. Nothing's changed.
The result of this twist we actually won't get to see, which I think is kind of cool. Like, this is a twist that's now going to impact these three people moving forward, but that we don't get to see that result.
I like my twists when they come about that they affect the entire plot that I just watched in some way. Not only take an emotional toll on you and the characters, they inform me that what I had just watched isn't all what it seems. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. I disagree with not enjoying this kind of twist. I do, but I also do understand what you mean.
I didn't not enjoy it. Like I said, it was an amazing twist. It was like bonkers. It was just a shock value twist to me. It didn't enhance the rest of the movie. Okay. It was a nice little cherry on top at the end, but it didn't make the rest of the ice cream sundae taste amazing.
I will say credit where credit's due, and we can't understand this ever being a mother, but her forgiving him in the letter was really, really powerful to me, because that's something only a mother's love could possibly do.
I also gave it an 8 out of 10.
Hey, wow. Same.
Solid 8 out of 10. That's the review of Incendies. Have you seen the movie? If you have, and you've made it through a review, let us know in the comments below. If you haven't seen the movie, and you watched our review, I'm sorry. Let's move on to our top 5 this week. Bro, do you want to tell the folks out there what the top 5 this week is?
I do indeed. Top 5 of this week is going to be top 5 French movies. Pretty easy. Pretty en point. And I guess I will begin. Top 5 French movies, according to me. Number 5, we love when this happens, Incendies.
Okay, snuck in at the number 5 spot.
Number 4. I didn't watch this for like 15 years after it. It wasn't until a Childish Gambino movie or reference that I went back to watch this movie, and it is Amélie.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's quirky, it's weird, it's different, it's fun. Number 3, Starbuck. So there was a remake of this, The Delivery Man, I believe, with Vince Vaughn.
Yeah.
It's where he finds out he has, like, you know, I don't know, hundreds of kids. I really don't remember because his sperm went like viral or something.
You don't want your sperm to be viral.
You don't. So I watched this one in The Delivery Man in theaters for some reason. I was like, okay, not very good, but I like the concept. Then I found out it was based on a French film. This movie's awesome. Number 2, another French movie that was remade. I watched the remake, which made me go back and watch this one. The Intouchables. Incredible movie that you should absolutely watch if you haven't. And number 1, which is kind of cheating because it's only half French, Bon Cop, Bad Cop.
Number 1. Okay.
That is, in my opinion, do I want to be this dramatic? It might be the best Canadian movie in my opinion. And then I have one honorable mention, and I'll say it because I know it's not on your list because nobody has ever heard of this movie, and it is called The High Cost of Living.
No, I've never heard of it.
It is a movie filmed in Montreal with Zach Braff in it. It is very, very depressing. It is like a Blue Valentine or a Revolutionary Road kind of like tragedy relationship drama.
Top 5 French movies, according to me. Number 5 is a movie called Breathless by Jean-Luc Godard.
Okay.
That is the most hipster you'll ever see me be. I only know this movie. It was a French New Wave film way back in the day, and we studied it in film class, and I watched it, and I liked it. Number 4, Incendies.
Hey! Cool.
Number 3, Quelle Surprise, Amélie.
Oh, no way. Oh, you sneaky little bugger. I remember liking it.
Yeah, I liked it a lot, actually. Number 2, Bon Cop, Bad Cop.
Yeah, I knew it.
Let's go.
I knew it.
I mean, we watched it together. It was an incredible fun time. Number 1 French movie that I've seen is called Ravenous. I need more people to watch this film.
Les Affamés.
That one. Yes. It is one of my favorite zombie movies ever made.
Ooh, a Quebec zombie movie? I will ignore the reviews and trust you.
Oh, no. That's it for the top 5. If you have top 5 French movies that you want to share with us, let us know. As always, open this up for conversation. We love to have them. It's come to the end of July. Next week, anyway, will be the end of July. And therefore, the end of July, eh? We gotta stop focusing on the Canadian content there, eh? And just move on to other things, I guess. Sorry about that.
All right, there, you fucking hoser. I guess we'll move on to something else.
We specifically decided to have a double feature titled Double Double.
Oh, fuck, like Timmy's, eh? Like you get your bag. I order my coffee double at the local Timmy's there, bud.
Indeedy do.
you.
So why don't you get out that good old hat Destiny and let's draw some
Oh,
movies
you
for
mean Le Chapeau du Destin?
Is that what it's called?
I don't know, maybe. Sounds right.
Okay.
The hat of... I'm going to assume... Sure. Yeah. Shut up, Derek. Shake it up. All right. So we're going to pick... I'm not even going to look at it. I'm going to show you. Oops.
Broody, I can't see them.
Read it, Derek.
I can't.
I can't even hold it straight. We are watching Crazy, but it's an acronym for something because it's C.R.A.A. Anyway, and our second movie in the double coffee that is life is going to be... Here we go. Read it, Derek.
Tabarnak.
Tabarnak. I've heard the mermaids sing. This one stars my teacher. I know the star of this movie very well. She's a wonderful lady. She was Agnes in the Umbrella Academy season 1. If anybody ever watched that, she's a sweetheart on Earth. I had no idea about this movie, and according to TIFF's list, actually, this is the 9th best movie Canada's ever produced.
Whoa.
So Crazy. A young French Canadian, one of 5 boys in a conservative family in the 1960s and 70s, struggles to reconcile his emerging identity with his father's values. I've heard the mermaids singing. Scatterbrained Polly gets a job as a secretary in Gabrielle's art gallery. Polly aspires to be a professional photographer and idolizes Gabrielle. This is annoying. For her artistic ability. When Gabrielle rekindles an old romantic relationship with the younger painter Mary, Polly becomes jealous and is sad that she's not who she claims to be. I'm so sorry. That sucked. I hated everything that just came out. I gave up halfway through, if you couldn't tell. Looks like she's a quiet, weird, quirky woman who then decides to maybe go out for some revenge. That's my plot based on that. Fuck you.
That was perfect. Oh, man. Yeah, could definitely tell you were trailing off. You're just like,
Yeah.
I'm done.
I gave up when I said Gabriel for the 3rd time.
Oh, man. Good job, man.
Thank you, man.
All right. We are going to watch both those movies. We're going to come back next Monday and review them. And we're hoping to see you back. And then at that time, we're also going to announce the theme of our next month. If you like what you've seen here, if you made it to the end of the video and you love movies and you love movie content, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment below, have conversations with us because we just love movies and talking movies so much. And we want to build a community around that. So thank you so much for watching. This has been Same But Different. Brody, say goodbye to the folks at home.
Hey.
Did you say hey?
No, I said A. Right?
I understood everything you said.
Yeah, because we're French as fuck.